starters, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you became involved here at Montco.
My journey with Montco starts as an epiphany after waiting 15 years after I graduated high school to realize that I was in a dead-end occupation, had to change things that I was doing in my life. And I decided Montco, it's right around the corner, and I had a passion for a couple of different things, writing for starters, but also for doing other creative arts, audio production, dabbled in video production and photography for a little bit, all amateur. But I decided, let's turn that into a profession. So started that here. That's been about 2 years now. It all started on just the advisor, Gail Ramsey, asking everyone through the entire semester, this was last semester, spring of 2014, saying, we have this new blog, it's open to everyone, it's open to more than just communication students, it's open to the entire campus, it's open to people who are not even Montco students, which is what I know many people don't even know. And she said, I have nobody leading it, I have no editor, it's not even being maintained. And she asked me, and I thought about it for the entire semester. And when the semester was finally over, I said, you know what, let me give it a shot. So I took it over, and it actually didn't seem all that hard of a job to do. I know how to write. I write well. I've done many articles. I've had at least 3 of them before I took on the position as editor. I had 3 of them published in the Montgazette. So I knew how to write. So I figured, take it on, make it worth something, clean it up, and get it publicized. The Mass Media Industries blog for Montgomery County Community College is open to anyone, but especially Montco students. Even if they're not communications students, they can produce a story, journalism style of course, they produce a story that is media focused, e.g. television, radio, the music industry, things of that nature. Whatever they're passionate about. They submit it to us, and unlike the Montgazette, where there's this standard editorial process, with the mass media blog, as long as everything fits to proper journalism style, up it goes. And the content is completely retained to whoever writes the article. No one takes their copyright from them or anything like that. It's their property. But it's up there. It's something that they can be proud of, something that they can even tack on as a part of their resume.
And how does this compare to between this and being a part of the Montgazette, where you have this whole print digital thing going on?
Right, exactly. It's actually to work hand in hand. Anyone who picks up an issue of the Montgazette realizes when they start reading the articles that are on the blog that they're exactly the same, and that's intentional, so that there's parity between the two systems. Yes, it's in print, but for those who, say, if they're on the West Campus or in the Culinary Arts Institute, who don't have access to the paper necessarily, they can hit the blog, at least read the media articles.
For a non-communication student, how would such a student be able to get their work posted on the blog?
And that's the major problem I'm trying to fight. It starts with engagement. It starts with getting people to know that the blog, much less the Montgazette, is there. It's their forum. The paper is the college's forum. The mass media blog is also their forum. Yes, it's media focused, but it's still their forum. It's for the students themselves. So getting the word out there is step number 1. Past that, it's a matter of emailing me, mc3mmIblog@gmail.com. Send me your story. I'll take a look at it, I'll review it with the advisors, and as long as everything comes out in the proper journalism style, up it goes. It's extremely beneficial, particularly for those who don't want to pick up a newspaper or have the perspective, as many do with professional journalism, that somehow even our own campus paper has got a political slant or some kind of slant. That's simply not the case. It's students' perspective on the world around them and how it relates to them either as a student or to the student body as a whole, to the Montco community as a whole. This doesn't have to be restricted to just what's here on Central Campus. You find me a media-related story of a student going back and forth, Central to West or to the Culinary Arts Institute. They're hitting all three places, but they have this burning issue that they need to tell people about. It's a much simpler process. It doesn't have the traditional overhead of an editorial process. Is there an editorial process? Sure there is. Absolutely, it has to. But it's not as strenuous. It's give me your ideas, focus them around the Montco community, up it goes. Montgazette is far more expansive. It's similar, but it's more expansive. The blog is frankly, very simplistic. It's here are the articles, up they go, here's a Twitter post, here's a Facebook feed, there's a new article. The Montgazette is far more nuanced because there are articles that will go in the Montgazette that won't get on the blog. For example, the Candace Benson article is only in the paper. It's the only place you're going to see it. Okay? It's not going to end up on the blog because we want that to be something that's completely community focused to the entire student body and beyond. So putting it on the blog is too limiting. That's what the paper is there for. The key issue with the Montgazette is getting people involved. That's what we need. We need people who don't see it as a dead media, because it's not a dead media. It's very informative. There are ads in the Montgazette, if nothing else, that can open a door to someone looking to transfer to a four-year college. It's there. It's right there in your face. And you aren't necessarily going to see it by meandering around Montco's website.
For the students who perhaps have never heard of this and perhaps they might be interested in being a part of the experience of blogging about the campus, why should they take part?
First and foremost, because they want to, but also so that others can see their perspective on the world. Just as much as the Montgazette brings that in a more generic context. This is my favorite singer. This is what I think they can improve on. Here's a local band that no one's ever heard of. Here's my take on the whole Ray Rice issue. That's media related. Yes, it's about domestic violence, but it's media related. The blog says to the individual student either reading or writing the article, this is what I care about in the world of media arts.